Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. All right, Dan, it's getting real in the World Cup rounds. So we got a game here in just over an hour. How was your weekend?
No more draws. No more draws. It's I'm sure what a lot of USA bettors are excited about. The knockout stages are here. Canada gets it done. What a brutal beat. If you were looking for South Africa on the double chance line, you get your stoppage time. Boom, big loser there. Andy, here's one thing I will say. And on the show, we got Gianni the Greek coming on here. Crackman's coming on, and Carmine Bianco, who has just been red hot in the World Cup, is joining us here on the show. He's going to talk this Brazil and Japan game at 1 o'clock, so we'll get to him as quickly as we can for you guys. You can still get that bet in, and Netherlands and Morocco. Andy, about the group stages, we didn't get to circle back to this because they obviously ended and head towards the weekend on Saturday. If you bet $100 on every group stage to end as a 0-0 draw, you would be up over $6,200. So an insane because you had I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ones, and if you bet on the exact score 0-0 draw, essentially all of those, bottom of them is like 13-1. So the Americans, I'm sure we'll get their laugh about that. But Andy, I'm amped up. What do we do to start the week here, folks? We're going to start you off on the winning foot. We're heading to the Diamond Wager Talk Today. Play of the day, Andy. Pitcher prop. What are we going with?
Yeah, let's take a look at Burke. I've been eyeing this one the last couple games, and I have not fired on it to the regret of my bankroll. But we're going to go with Sean Burke over 5.5 strikeouts. I think this sets up really nice for him today. Playing the Orioles, and he's had 6 or more strikeouts in 6 straight games. Last 2 games, he's gone 22 and 19 out. So he's going deep into games, and he may do it again today because White Sox had a bullpen game yesterday, so they used a lot of arms, and Baltimore is striking out over 9 times per game this season. 9 times? 9 times, Mrs. Bueller. So let's go with the over 5.5. I think it sets up well. A very, very good price on this one as well.
Yeah, and as up and down as we've been, Andy, 32 and 23 on these plays for you here on the program, 32-23. So hopefully we make it 33 and 23, get up 10 wins above that Mendoza line. But Andy, great way to start the weekend is obviously recap what happened, look forward, find how we can build our bankroll, see what's happening in the marketplace. And for that, we bring in the one, the only, Gianni the Greek. Gianni, how we doing, brother?
Never better. God bless America. I'm coming off losing about 5 units the last 7 days, but just bled out a couple bad beats. Again, that's always going to change. Good luck, bad luck. I was on the South Africa side yesterday, multiple ways. And again, it got into extra time with a couple minutes left, and you just get beat. That's going to happen. The thing is, you just can't let it affect you moving forward. Like if you place good bets, acknowledge that. When you place bad bets, admit that. I have placed some bad bets throughout, my career. But again, I thought that was a good bet. I'd place it again. And that's pretty ultimately what it ended up costing us. 1 or 2 games here or there is the difference between a winning week and a losing week. But with that said, I do have some work to make up in 2026. And we got nothing but time and opportunity ahead. That's why I'm excited, optimistic, and ready to fire. And more importantly, because I got a couple DMs asking, yes, I'm still in the Palantir trade. That's a long-term one for me. In fact, I have a buy order right now at 112 for another 200 units. So I'm hoping Palantir drops actually, even though I got in it at 108. I do have another buy order at 112. If I could average around 110, I'm good long term. The only other thing I told you, I'm sitting all in cash right now, except I did take some shares on that UUL, that dollar, because it is breaking out. Otherwise, the only 2 things I'm looking to buy is if they're cheap. Meta cheap, Microsoft cheap, and actually one more, Tesla cheap. So far, neither of those 3 are in that cheap category, but they're close. So when I fire, I'll definitely share that because, again, those will be good long-term buys for sure. But we're here to talk about sports betting, and we have World Cup action today. 3 games that's going to get all the action. Again, we have seen some baseball, but that's been all sharp, mostly overnights with a little follow through. But you'll see a lot of sharp baseball action come in throughout the day because now they know they're in no rush with the World Cup here. All the recreational money is on the World Cup. Japan and Brazil, no surprise. They're betting Brazil. Again, it's not as one-sided as you would think because Japan's getting a lot of money as well. For whatever reason, that three-way ends up getting good splits a lot of times, especially when the teams like this are very close power rating wise. I mean, Japan 7-3 outscored their three opponents. Brazil 7-1. Both had played really well. So I'm not surprised to see a kind of a split, a little heavier Brazil, but not as much as you would expect. Sharp money is on the under. That's opposite the public. That's going over. Paraguay and Germany, one-sided Germany money. Paraguay got in, but they're -2 in goal differential. So they're going to get a lot of fade today. Be cautious. Germany's stock is as high as it's gotten. I mean, they have in 3 games, they have a +2 goal differential per game. That's not sustainable. So be cautious if you're laying goals. And then Netherlands and Morocco. Sharp money on Morocco at +300. That was what they were looking to fill on the three-way. So on the three-way at +300, they do like Morocco. Public's all over the Netherlands. Another team that's looked great. Another with a team with a +2 goal differential in the first round in their 3 games. So those teams that looked good, Germany, Netherlands, they're being bet the heaviest. They're being parlayed the heaviest. They're being bet to advance in parlays. Bettors are just trying to find as many different ways to bet Germany and the Netherlands, and in ways that as long as they advance, they make some money. Like, so they're if they're not comfortable laying the goal, they'll just bet the team to advance and then add a couple parlays with the team to advance. I've seen open-end parlays, but just a lot of parlays on this World Cup because it's chalky to bet those teams to advance. So what they're doing is they're tying them up is exactly what the sports books want. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Heavy Germany action, heavy Netherlands action. Be careful. Power rating wise, we have Morocco and Netherlands a lot closer than this number reflects, just like Japan, Brazil. Morocco, Netherlands, not all that far off, believe it or not. As far as the win probability for each, I'll just share it with you. This is what we have. The Netherlands, Morocco, the probability of a tie is higher than in Japan and Brazil. That's why the probability of each winning Morocco or the Netherlands is lesser than Japan and Brazil because of the tie is greater. But as far as the split, it's not all that different, believe it or not. The goal differential that we have for Brazil, Japan, and Netherlands, Morocco. Just putting that out there. And yeah, that's the public money. There's a little bit of sharp money, and this is where it gets exciting, man. You lose, you're gone. So teams change up the way they're playing, and we saw that yesterday with both teams playing not to lose as opposed to win. Well, they started turning it on late, but it seemed more of defensive type. And the one bet that stuck out the most yesterday that I actually was just going to fade it just because I couldn't believe it was so one-sided. And it wasn't just one-sided money. The volume of bets, I couldn't believe it. There was more bets on this prop than on the sign and totals combined. And they all were betting the yes that both teams will score in yesterday's game. And as we know, both teams were scoreless after 90 minutes. So be careful. Those handicaps that look obvious aren't that obvious sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a brutal run for us. We just can't get any momentum going. And we were talking before we got on there, just man, it's just been really, really clunky the last few. There's just been a lot of bets that have tripped up a lot of people. Like the consensus ones just don't seem to be hitting that much in World Cup. So baseball, we got 13 games today. We got a big slate. So all night games. What are we seeing in MLB?
All right. Here's a couple of the signs and totals that got hit with some follow through. Not a lot of volume because again, a lot of lines move, but not every move is a legit play. So we'll go start 953 Cincinnati +130, 959 San Francisco +140, +130. and the over 8.5 in San Francisco. 961 White Sox Baltimore over 9 all the way up to minus 125. 963 Detroit plus 125 all the way down to plus 120 on the fill. 969 under 8 on LA and Seattle. And finally, Athletics got bet to favorites from plus 105. They did lay even money as well. That's why they're minus 105 right now. So yeah, not a ton of sharp action, but they did get down on a couple dogs and got out ahead of these totals that are sitting on those, key numbers, that 9, and trying to get the best of that, which is kind of what they do most of the overnights at least. So yeah, not a lot of public action in baseball, I can tell you that. Volume last week was very, very low from the recreational bettors. So if you're like monitoring line moves, you're following odds logic, you can put a little more stock in the line moves in determining that they're sharp, especially if it's a late move. Now, again, if you're following it, unless you have decent outs, you're betting into a second and third number, which isn't a long-term profitable approach, but at least you have more certainty this time of the year with that market, and at least knowing what the line moves are. Is it public money moving it? Is it a player sitting out? Is it sharp money moving it? Well, rest assured, most of the action coming in, especially if it's not on a high-profile marquee matchup on ESPN Sunday night, like that, maybe you'll get public money. But otherwise, the rest, it's sharp versus the books right now, and that's why you're seeing these lines move pretty quickly.
No WNBA games, so yeah, it's all World Cup today. You've done anything with Wimbledon? We have one small play going today. I do doubles on doubles doesn't start till Thursday, so that's what I'm spending all my time on. But yeah, don't forget about Wimbledon out there.
You're right. I haven't seen anything. I haven't gotten anything for Wimbledon yet. But yeah, that is one of those tournaments that it definitely should offer some value, especially with all the attention on the World Cup. You know what I mean? So it'll get less attention than it usually would. But tennis is one of those sports that gets bet so heavily, like around the globe. We don't realize it here in the States, but it's probably top 3 as far as volume goes in the world in tennis. So yeah, don't overlook the Wimbledon for sure. And good luck with that throughout.
Yeah. Number 1 live bet sport in the world. I remember basically every bookmaker will tell you the volume on live tennis bets is.
And you know why? Because it's not a U.S. sport, meaning that the rest of the world doesn't bet pre-flop like we do. See, we were always used to betting with bookies our whole lives. We used to call bookmakers at the pizza shop and put in your bets. So you couldn't do that live. It was always pre-bet. In other countries in Europe, like they've had bookmakers on corners, legit bookmakers forever. I would go to Greece and they had bookmakers. You could bet soccer and stuff. So they were already betting live and in-game way before we were. And in fact, while I was there, I hung out in the sports book and I was like, dude, before the game starts, there's no one in line. But then after the game started, like 5 minutes in, 8 minutes in, 10 minutes in, people would start firing. For whatever reason, they bet live and in-game as opposed to pre-flop like we do. And it's no surprise that tennis being one of those sports that we don't bet that much here, but globally it's huge that's the case with the live. Wow. I didn't know that, but it does make sense. Because again, they want to get us to there, to where we're betting every play kind of. They're trying to get us there slowly but surely. But yeah, over in the rest of the world, they do bet live more than anything else. So not surprising.
Yeah, Sinner just had a come from behind win. That's the number 1 player in the world. He almost just destroyed everyone's parlays to get the morning off started. So, all right, great stuff, Gianni. What do you have up for everyone this Monday?
All right, the World Cup package will be up along with the Steam sheet because I know you guys want to get that info throughout the day as we update it. Baseball will be on there. World Cup action will be on there. And no UFC this week, so it gives us a week break before International Fight Week. And yeah, best of luck to all. Do some damage this week. And yeah, hopefully those draws end up being profitable for us this time around. Best of luck to everyone.
Hey, Yanni, real quick, have you looked at this card at UFC 329? This might be one of the best cards I've ever seen.
It is. It is. Top to bottom, bro. Top to bottom. Yes, agree 100%.
It's insane. Like most of the main card could be a main event on any other card. There's like 4 or 5 like main event type things. It's just I don't know why they're swinging for the fences so good on this one.
It's a good one, bro. It's a really good one. I'm excited for it. Yep.
Yeah. This is don't miss that card. So, all right, thanks, Yanni. Have a good one.
Best of luck, boys. Do some damage this week.
All right. Got a couple plays in here. Both teams to score, Japan and Brazil. We have played that. That's a client play for us, so we like it enough. However, we've been ice cold the last 7 days, guys. So take it for a grain of salt. I'm happy that June is almost over. I'm happy we got a new week. Listen, It's all part of it. You know, you go through cold streaks. It's just part of the business. But God, when it happens, it's just a terrible, terrible feeling. So NASCAR race, nothing going. One of our guys spins. The other guy, car is all messed up. It's just it's been a bad run. So, but that's the nice thing about this business. Things change immediately. So hopefully we get off to a good start. Looks like we're going to get a tennis winner home. So starting off the day good.
Where it starts, just one's got to get through. We got our lacrosse winner over the weekend. So it's like, and we just need to see a couple go through. Darts is going to be right around the corner too. So I am going to be very happy, Andy, to turn the calendar. And I'm sure, a lot of folks thinking the same. It's just the nature of what we do. I mean, you heard Yanni talking about it. We were talking about it with Yanni before. It's like, what do you do when you're running cold? There's a couple different ways to attack it, but at the end of the day, Andy, it sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks when you're grinding out every day, you're putting in the work, and you just don't see the results, man. It's tough, and it can shake your confidence. But what do they say? When you're going through hell, you keep on going, right? Oh, yeah. Robbie, he's never been on a cold streak. I love it.
Yes, Rob, it does suck. Yeah.
But luckily, I will say, Andy, when you're going on a cold streak, it's lovely what we get to do here with WagerTalk Today, because we get to talk to a lot of the hottest handicappers. So we get to do things like tail Carmine Bianco in World Cup, and he's like, dude, if you're on a cold streak, don't tail my plays. I'm not going to let you be the jinx. Well, don't worry. Carm's coming up here. We're going to talk World Cup with him in just a few. Andy, if it's good with you, though, I say we bring in our man, Bill Krackomberger, see how he's been doing.
Bill, yeah.
Bill, how we doing, brother? How's your Monday? We're limping in a little bit here after the weekend, brother. How's things been running for you?
Okay. Yeah, what's going on with you guys? Now you're saying you're limping in because of did the World Cup do bad, or what went bad this week for you guys?
The answer is everything.
Yeah, it's just one of those streaks, Bill, where like whatever we win one and then we lose two.
One winning pick.
It's just one of those where all across the board we're just running a little cold. So it happens to everybody, but it's just not a good feeling when you're in the middle.
That's why you have to have good bankroll management, because sometimes that is what it's called, wagering ruin, RUIN. That is what gets everybody. It's the skill set that you need, the number one skill set you need to be a successful gambler. And it's very hard to do, especially coming from any of the towns that, gambling towns. And I grew up, back east, New York, New Jersey, but you can go Detroit, you can go Pittsburgh, you can go Cleveland, Philly, all these, it's embedded in us that we just want to get even. That's the reason why these casinos all exist nationwide. Number one reason. Everyone just says, God, just let me get even and I'll go home for the day and I won't gamble for a while. And then you go home and the next day you're right at it because we're all sick. That's the way, we used to be. At least that's the way I should say we were all sick. No, that's not the way I am now. But I was that way in my 20s for sure. And it took someone to shake me and show me the right way and show me how to win and show me how to have that skill set of, hey, tomorrow's another day. You could see, a lot of times they say this in the casino, we don't want a poker room. That doesn't make any money. It doesn't generate any money. Sports betting, it's such a, why that space can be utilized for slot machines. Bullshit. No way. That space is there anyone that gambles knows that space is there because it's, first of all, if the wife and the girlfriends, the family comes in with the husband that's sitting at the race book or the sports book or the poker table. And then what happens at the poker table or the sports? At the end of the day, you lose the last game. They can't just walk out the door. They're going to go play blackjack. They're going to go play, So any casino executive that gambles knows that, but a lot of times you'll get CEOs and people that are in the marketing and stuff that don't gamble and say, well, yeah, we should put slots there because per square foot slots make a lot more money. But in the end, poker rooms make a ton of money for them that they don't even realize. And a lot of places will close poker rooms and close area and make these areas smaller, if anything, lose that clientele and say, wow, we've been slow the last few months. It can't be poker because we weren't making money in poker, never even realizing, having the street smarts and common sense to realize where the money came from. So anyway, guys, back to what you said, though. Yeah, you have to, once, let's say you start out with $1,000. Now, this is not $1,000 for a meal, a show, a birthday gift, or anything. This is $1,000 just for sports betting. And let's say you have like Andy and Dan are saying, you have a couple days where you've lost money the last week. Well, now that $1,000, you're supposed to bet 2% of your bankroll. That's what they say, and they're not wrong. A lot of times I'll go 2.5% on props or something, or a little bit higher on player props, because I know my ROI on that. But let's say that bankroll's down to $800. Well, $800, you just lost 20% of your gambling bankroll that week. Now you're only betting $16, 2% instead of $20. It sounds so boring. I know. Oh my God, $16 a play, $20 a play. You could have the best information in the world. And if you're betting 10% of your bankroll on plays, I got guys that come here. My buddies, they come here once or twice a year, come from March Madness. They're New Yorkers. And they come with like $3,000, and their first bet's 500. And they're going to the ATM machines if they don't get lucky. They're now the second bet maybe 800, and guess what goes next? The whole bankroll. By the time their bags are not even in the room yet, opened up, they go broke. So it's a human nature for a lot of gamblers. You have to have bank if you're serious. Now listen, this particular guy I'm talking about, I'll just say it. He works on the railroad. He's got a giant job. He's been there 35 years now. He's retiring, but he makes almost $200,000 a year. Yeah, imagine you make that on the railroad. Anyway, he's got a giant job, so he does this social for fun, and I use him as an example. And that's a real number I just used. He came here with 3,000, not this March Madness, last March Madness. So 2 March Madnesses ago, came here with 3,000. And the first night he got in Wednesday. March Madness starts on Thursday, by the way, the big games. He got in Wednesday. By Wednesday night, he went to bed dead broke. It's just, I just think of him and the $3,000 he brought out here. And he's a social gambler, but he's also out of control, as you could see. That is, he's supposed to bet literally $60 a game, and that is not fun. But he's social. He's not being a serious gambler. So if you guys are taking this craft seriously, you're supposed to bet 1 to 3% of your bankroll. I have no problem you betting 3% on your NFL player props, preseason football, which is coming up. No problem at all. Where you bet a higher percentage of bankroll, but even with the best information in the world, if you're betting like 10% of your bankroll, you have no chance. Just have fun with it, go with it, and you're going to be broke every week and looking for money to gamble with, and problems with your family, problems with your spouse. It's not good, but it happens to everyone until they finally listen. I'm not saying listen to me. Just read up on it, read up on bankroll management, but and read up on the skill sets you need to be a successful sports bettor out there.
And for some reason, Dan,
Sorry, it would help if
you
you could hear me. Yeah,
it's
usually Usually
Got
it
you
helps
now.
if you guys can hear me,
Yeah.
but check things out over at Crackman's page, wt.buzz/Crackman. Love the insight there. And just the reminder, man, you can hear it a million times. You can hear it. It takes that 1,000,001 maybe to make the difference. But when you keep keeping on. Krack, I got a question for you, man. We will obviously, the people want the free play, so we'll get them the free play in a second. But first, I got to pick your brain. A lot of these times when I see these sports betting stories, I'm like, yes, we get to talk to Crackman on Monday. And the latest one was seeing on Friday that DraftKings file this under if you can't beat them, join them, because DraftKings decided they're kicking off DKEX, which is their version of these prediction markets. We've alluded to the fact, Krack, that they're here to stay, man. And like I said, you can't beat them, join them. Thought you saw the headline. What do you think of this approach for DraftKings? Is it just, hey, we got to make sure the stockholders stay happy some way, or is this just a sign of what is to come here, Krack? What do you think when you saw the whole DKEX story break heading into the weekend?
Well, with the Kalshi and these particular prediction markets that are out there, they're definitely a threat to the DraftKings and the different sports books that have joined the country here since PAPS was repealed 8 years ago. So DraftKings decided to have this marketplace. I think FanDuel also. I am not in it because I live here in Nevada, where it's technically illegal to play these particular kind of prediction markets. But of course, they see what the volume that's going on. As a matter of fact, I'm reading just from this article here. According to DraftKings, its prediction platform generated approximately 11.3 billion in total trading volume for the week of June 21st. That's got to be for the World Cup. But this is DraftKings, 11.3 billion. That's in 1 week in volume. So, it's funny. I had phone calls from different people the last few weeks. I'll say the last month, and text or phone calls saying, "I just seen a commercial that DraftKings was legal in all 50 states." And they're advertising it as legal in all of the states. So now that they're saying that, I haven't tested this yet here in Nevada, but I do know that Kalshi has geofencing where you cannot play in the state of Nevada. Your account. I do a VSiN show, and my co-host Gil, he had his Kalshi account from San Francisco, where his home is, and he came into Nevada and he couldn't use his app. He couldn't use his Kalshi app. So Nevada is really strong here about not using their sports books. If you want to come in this state to wager, they want you playing with their legal licensed sports books. So I find it interesting now that DraftKings is advertising they're available in 50 states. But the timing is not accidental for sure. The prediction markets have surged in public awareness. People know about them now. The regulatory acceptance, it's legal. However, it's contracts. So the conversion is not to lay 11 to 10 on a sports bet. It's a buy and sell, which is pretty simple conversion. But let me tell you something. The general public that have DraftKings available in their state, like let's say New Jersey, I don't know if they're ready to use that conversion chart and to join these other sites like Kalshi. They have DraftKings, they have FanDuel, they have BetMGM, they have Caesars. Why do I need a prediction market where I have to do the conversion in my head? And they just don't seem fun. It seems like more of a job to get on there and buy and sell and try to. It's just not as fun. There's no advertisements with my favorite celebrity talking about DraftKings, or my favorite athlete talking about DraftKings or FanDuel or this. So the people I know, let me just be blunt, the street knockaround guys, they don't want to have to deal with account. They want to go in like they've been doing for 100 years, laying 11 to 10 on a sport, and that's it. Unfortunately, a lot of these sites charge more than 11 to 10. I'm used to 11 to 10. I'm used to 10-cent baseball. What that means is you lay $1.50 on a game, you take it back $1.40. All these sites that came to the country, it's minus 150, come back $1.25. I mean, It's unbeatable the day of the game. If you're just playing one sports book against the line, one of these new sports books against your bet the day of the game, it's unbeatable. You cannot win with my information. You cannot win with the sharpest syndicate information out there. You heard what I just said. Minus $1.50, come back $1.25. I seen come back $1.20. I've seen that on legal licensed sites. That is absolutely insane. Insane. When it comes to football, NFL, number one wagering sport for us here in America. NFL, money lines. You cannot bet money line wagering with a lot of these sites because they're so price gouging the public unless you have multiple ones. Now, perfect example. I have multiple sites, so I do have some of the sites that I'm referring to, and sometimes they have so much money on a favorite, their underdog will be worth playing at that particular sports book, even though they have that kind of a spread, minus 150, come back 125 or whatever it may be. But yeah, so what I'm saying is you have to have multiple outs if you're serious. Also, this particular new concept, DKEX. So they're trying to be the center of it. I get it, I understand, but I'm just telling you from experience. I know people that I know, which are a small representation. I get it, but they're sports bettors. They've been sports bettors forever. They're from the old school. They don't want to have a prediction market and have to go in there and do the math and do the bank wires, and they just want to go to their local sports book and they want to bet in person, or they do bet on the apps, but they can cash out at the end of the day right at the app. They don't have to deal with bank wires and regular banking.
No.
So that's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying this is not going to be very successful. And DraftKings is actually putting themselves in a position where they can be successful with it. I'm not saying they're not going to be successful. What I'm saying is I know the way gamblers are, and I think the people that are playing these markets right now are the more astute people, because check the line too. If you are going to get into this marketplace, do the conversion, check the math. If it's less than your traditional sports book, absolutely you should be doing it.
Well, it's the astute people, and it's the people that maybe in some instances have a little bit of inside information, not just game by game, these prediction markets. You can bet on anything from what's someone going to wear to the Met Gala to who's going to show up on the sideline at this game. So, Bill, there is a certain degree of manipulation that could potentially be going on here as well. But for DraftKings, they get to say in their commercials, we're live in all 50 states. And I think that's the most important thing for them.
I didn't think of that.
So
you're right about that. Can I show you guys something before I go off? And there is no WNBA. We've been smoking WNBA.
Yeah, props. we'll do a MLB player prop after you're done,
right.
Krack.
But I want to show you something. So this is a buddy. This is actually a buddy of mine's friend that called me up on Saturday. Was that Saturday? I think it was Saturday morning. He said, "Hey, what do you think about this parlay?" And he knows what I think about parlays. But if you see this sucker
Group
here.
Winners, all of them.
3,000 to win 227,000, right? So this is why you can't bet parlays. This guy goes 10-1 and loses $3,000. 10-1, loses $3,000. You imagine you win 10 games and you lose money for the day. Yeah, This is unbelievable. And by the way, he needed England and Portugal Saturday. So England was like tied 0-0, 50 minutes in. And they did go ahead 2-0. He won. Everything was riding on Portugal the last game. I watched the entire game with those guys. The entire game I watched. And it's the first game I watched from 0 to 95. And Colombia should have probably won the game. They were the more of the aggressors, if you ask me.
But their toe was offside. Their toe was offside from the VAR. It was a crazy ending between them, and I know we're not a full recap show, but between them and that Algeria-Austria ending. FIFA, you got some splaining to do, I think is the the mantra
Yeah.
of the weekend.
But this
Bill,
is more
hey,
telling people
ahead.
why they shouldn't, why they really, this parlay betting addict. I know. You get to go to the beach with a grain of sand and you could take the whole beach home. I get it.
Yeah.
But and I've kind of waved a white towel myself with my people that I know. Even I said, listen, okay, if you're $100 better, go ahead. You want to put $5 on a parlay, $6, $10 on a parlay? Go ahead. Go ahead, do it. I'm just telling you that sportsbook revenue is driven. The leader is parlays. The reason why they make 60% of their profit, or sometimes more, is because of parlays. So just think about what I'm telling you. That's where they make all their money, and you're generous. However, I know it's people that go to the crap table and they want to bet they want to bet the 12 and the high low and stuff. It's a dollar makes $30. I get it. It's a giant sucker bet. And that's all I'm telling you. Parlay bettors, oh my God, it's just awful. 10-1, you lose money.
All right, Bill, let's talk a little free play action. The folks are clamoring for it. So what do we got? Like you said, no WNBA. That's been a great moneymaker for you. But we'll, I'm guessing, take a look at the diamond. What are we looking at for the free play today?
Yeah. NBA, the WNBA props plus 7.2 units last week again on that. So. And right around the corner, we have NFL props coming, NFL preseason, just to make sure you guys know. That's going to be, I'm looking forward to that more than anything else. Okay, White Sox pitcher Sean Burke over 5.5 strikeouts, still minus $1.10. Okay, come on.
Wow.
Check. So that's Chicago White Sox pitcher Sean Burke over 5.5 strikeouts. He's been pitching well his last few starts. Over the number of his going over this number, his last 5 going against the Orioles team that really is second in the league in the strikeout rate too. So this is a good opportunity here. Sean Burke over 5.5 strikeouts. There's a free prop for you guys, and look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure you follow my Twitter page. A lot of fun stuff up there, and I appreciate you two guys also.
WT.buzz /Krack, man, is where you can find it. Got a total up right now there. Clients are on a run where they grabbed over 12 units. So Krack, man, keep that rocking, man. We know we got NFL
World Series. Watch my podcast. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm so rude.
You're good.
Watch my podcast live from the World Series of Poker this week. Last week, you'll see also I was there. Beautiful studio they set up for us, World Series of Poker. And we're going back there this week. So we got a couple weeks there. Then we're moving it downtown to Circa, starting the 3rd week in July. We will be down from the heart, the middle of they showed me my setup there, right at the sports book every week. Just awesome. Make sure you guys check out Wisecracks every week.
Yeah, you can get Wisecracks wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find it live right here on the WagerTalk TV YouTube channel. Heading to Circa. I guarantee you there is some reasoning behind that with some takeovers that are maybe happening in Vegas. So find out the latest on Wisecracks. It's a great show. And like I said, if you like the video along with your podcast, exclusively right here on WagerTalk TV. More reasons than ever to like and subscribe. Andy, we got Carm coming up, but is there an echo in here? Did you notice what Krack's free play was?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, of all the props on the board, of all the games, there's 13 MLB games. Somehow hopefully it hits. So
I know. Is this a case of great minds think alike, or sorry, Bill? We'll find out. Comment below and let us know. We like it. It was the WagerTalk Today play of the day. Bill Krackomberger likes it. We're going over on Sean Burke's strikeouts. You tailing or you fading? I know what Zach is doing in the chat, but let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we got some interesting things happening outside of World Cup. Apparently, the Clippers and the Raptors are talking about trading Kawhi back to Toronto. He will hate that. He didn't want to be in Toronto. He openly was like, I can't do the cold. So that'll be hilarious if they do that. But the crazy one here is I thought this was a pipe dream. I thought, no way. They are seriously talking about in Golden State bringing in LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're really, really talking about it. Draymond just declined his option to free up some money. So putting old Steph, old LeBron, old AD, old Draymond on the same team would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. Ratings
the retirement home team of the year, the Golden State Walkers. is instead of the Golden State Warriors, the Golden State Walkers with the little tennis balls on the bottom of them.
It would be wild. So, and then more gambling news. Malik Beasley and Ed Davis have been indicted. So those guys are facing some pretty serious charges. So
yeah, not surprising. All you got to do is watch the film. Just watch the film. You could say, oh, these guys were definitely betting on games. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So all right. Well, let's bring in Carm because we got a game starting here in 20 minutes. Carm, how are you?
What's up, boys?
It's great to see you, man. You have been, I mean, the lifeblood has been tailing Mr. Bianco for me over here in the World Cup, my friend. It's been a terrific run. You've been seeing it well. You prep every single year for it. You watch the domestic leagues, you watch the European leagues, so you're as tuned in as any. And I think the success, Carm, it precedes the work that you put in. So congrats on that, man. Keep it coming. Since we have this game
Much
coming in a few. We'll talk a little bit about some of these questions we have in the chat, but this one is 18 minutes away. It's Brazil and Japan. The advance price on Brazil is about, you're laying $3 there. Take back seems a little bit short here, I will say, on Japan. Here's the thing that I think we would both agree on, whether we maybe see this game a little bit different, Carm, and I'm looking forward to your breakdown. Knockout stage, you should be playing some better competition. This is the best competition that Brazil has faced in this tournament. Wouldn't you say? How are you seeing this one shake out?
Yeah, I think their most difficult game was their match day 1 against Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was always going to be the toughest game for them.
Even Morocco more so than this one, you think?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I think Morocco went into that game with, I think they're ranked 7th or 8th by FIFA. And a team that in Qatar made the semifinals of the World Cup. Not a lot of teams expected them to do so, but they were a very good team that made it before losing 3-0 to France. And as we know, France went on to lose in penalty kicks to Argentina. But this is a similar type game in the sense of I don't see a lot of goals in this game. Japan is a very good defensive side. They play a compact game. They're very comfortable with not having possession in the game, which Brazil is going to have a majority of in this one. They can sit back. They'll look to counter. They'll look to try and stretch out the back line of Brazil a little bit. But that back line is phenomenal. The center backs are Marquinhos of PSG, and you have Gabriel of Arsenal. And they're a tough team. They've only allowed 1 goal in the World Cup as well, too, Brazil, and that was to Morocco. Coached by Italian Carlos Ancelotti, and this team, I've been high on this Brazil team coming into the tournament, so there's nothing that changes it for me here. I just think that Japan's route in this one is to keep this low scoring, keep Brazil knotted up, try to get to halftime at 0-0, and then go from there. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. Again, this is a good Brazil team. The one knock right now, or the one disadvantage for Brazil, is obviously Rafinha's injured, and he won't be playing. The Barcelona star, of course, he won't be playing. He likely could return if Brazil is able to make it to, let's say, the quarterfinals. But a similar injury in March, and he was off for like 4 or 5 weeks for Barcelona. So we'll see if he can turn it around here in this one, but pretty much the same Brazil lineup in this one, with 19-year-old Ryan coming in. He plays for Bournemouth in the Premier League, and he can score. I think he scored like 5 goals in 15 games for Bournemouth in the Premier League. Prior to that, he was playing in the top division in Brazil for Vasco. So a good replacement. It's all about Vinny Jr. on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
Can they slow him down? And you looked on Scotland tried to do it. They adjusted their lineup. They put in some substitutes, tried to bottle up Vinny, and he scored 2 goals in the first 30 minutes of the game. Yep. Japan's doing a similar thing. Their lineup's been pretty much the same, but they've added on that wing where Vinny plays on that left side. They've added Ito, who's more of a defensive midfielder forward, and they're going to try and bottle him up as well too. Whether they can do it or not remains to be seen. You got Paqueta and Bruno Guimaraes, who plays for Newcastle. They're the guys, the spark plugs. And then down the middle, obviously, is Casemiro, who plays for Man United, and he's a good holding midfielder. So I don't see a lot of goals in this game. I think this is one of the ones where you got to bet 2.5 under. It's been juiced, but you look at the exact scores, and the exact scores can sort of lead you in that way as well too. Brazil to win 1-0 is the lowest of all the exact score payouts at plus 475, and the 1-1 draw is at plus 550. Those are the two lowest prices. And then the further thing is, if you look at the goal scorers, and there's normally guys like Vinny Jr. who are minus 140, minus 150. Every single goal scorer is at least plus 165 or higher. They don't expect a lot of goals in this game, and rightfully so. The minus 255 for Brazil to advance, which includes extra time and penalty kicks, is too high for me to play. Brazil should get it done, I think, in 90 minutes. But if you're worried about that, there are other options on playing Brazil. Obviously, I played Brazil to win the World Cup. They're plus 1,200 now. Just to reach the finals is plus 500. But just to reach the quarterfinals, you can get them at even money, which means winning this game in whatever means it takes, and then winning their next game, which is against the winner of the Norway Ivory Coast game, which is being played tomorrow. And I would think that Brazil would be the decided favorites over either one of those teams as well too. So you can get even money on Brazil to reach the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and Carm, we did our pre-tournament show that you and I did together, and we were both really bullish on this Brazil team. So Carm not backing off even a little bit. Now I do have to hit you with a little bit of Teddy covers. As co-host here on WagerTalk Today. And I do want to pick your brain. Does it concern you at all? This was one of Teddy's favorite things to ask. Does it concern you at all? You mentioned that Brazil likely going to dominate possession in this game, but against teams like Scotland and Haiti, yes, they won the possession, but it wasn't like it was a 70-30 split. Like you're talking right around 50%. So do you think they ratchet that up? Do you think maybe they were slow playing it a little bit? And even though they were slow playing, they win 3-0. In that same question, Carm, a lot of folks in the chat are asking about this, both teams to score. You going with that under 2.5 tells you, hey, both teams to score, I don't think potentially would be in play. It's something that we look to back as well. And the reason being of why I arrived on finding that both teams to score play was partially because those 2 clean sheets that you had for Brazil back-to-back matches against Scotland and Haiti, it was against Scotland and Haiti, right? And it was the only 2 clean sheets that they had in 2026. So Japan, while I do agree with you, they don't want this to turn into a track meet. I do think they probably, realize, hey, we do have to keep pace with a team that can put up 3 goals just by walking onto the pitch. So any concern with the thought process that I had for that both teams to score for you, or do you just think this Japan team is biting off a little bit more than they could chew?
No, listen, Japan came in and there was a lot of people that were high on Japan coming into this tournament, and they play well. They've kept a clean sheet in 6 of the last 8 games played, whether it was a competition or whether it was a friendly. Even in friendlies, they aim to always try and win their games, and they start a very good lineup as well too. So like I said, they're a very tough team to break down. The fact that Rafinha isn't there to help out is a tough thing for Brazil, but I could see both teams scoring. I could see this game going to extra time, tied at 1-1 in that one, even at 1. So it's the only score line, if you're looking at exact scores, where I would take both teams to score, because I just don't see it being a 2-2 or even like an Algeria Austria 3-3 game.
Don't bring
like
that
the other
game
night.
up again.
Let's not
Don't
even
bring
talk
that
about
game
that.
up again. That wasn't even real, Carm. That match.
But no, I completely get it. Again, I would love to see Brazil win, only because I look at Brazil's path, and I think they get through this. If they get through this round and the next round, they would play likely England, the 3 Lions, in the quarterfinals, and then possibly these are what ifs. Set up the game that all South Americans want to see: Brazil versus Argentina. This World Cup sets up where it could be Brazil, Argentina in the semifinals, and on the other side, France and Spain in the semifinals. It's the 2 of the best in Europe, 2 of the best in South America, and it's what the football fans deserve. It's what the people of the U.S. are paying. Literally kidneys. They're selling kidneys to buy tickets to these games. So
it's also Carm
it's
shouldn't
insane.
go without saying FIFA wouldn't hate that outcome as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
And before we get to the next game, to your friend,
Yeah.
one guy in the chat there, I think it was like 49ers, says he loves to fade Carm. Like, how does he even have time? He should be, if he's fading me in this tournament, shouldn't he be at his squeegee job or like drying off cars at the car wash? Because he's down a shitload. Anyways, let's move on.
I was going to I'm glad you brought it up because I started the comment for the same reason. I was like, hey, if you love fading Carmine, you haven't had too fun of a time over this tournament. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, folks. Right here, check it out. 64%, 32-18, grabbing over 43 units, 28.2 ROI. So the World Cup, thy name has been Bianco. So Carm, we'll talk a little bit about how folks can get in and get your action. But right now, let's talk this game that's going at 9 p.m. A little bit more time to get to this one. I'm really excited for this match. Honestly, all three of these games, I think we're going to have a pretty fun day here. I mean, Germany is probably the runaway game, but this one's tight, man. I mean, even if you just look at this pricing to advance, the Netherlands at minus 156. Again, you can shop that price around. Morocco on the take back plus 128. For me, and one thing I do want to remind folks too, Carm, when you're betting the to qualify or to advance line, you need to make sure what you're betting. Are you betting 90 minutes, which means if there is extra time, your bet's already done, or are you betting to advance, or the results that also factor in extra time? The prices are different. Make sure you're reading the fine print so you're not placing a wager you don't think is happening. For me, Carm, Morocco double chance in regulation time. That's what I kind of want to attack here. Talk me out of it or make me feel better about it. What are you thinking?
I think the to advance line is probably the best route to take in this one.
Okay.
This is one of the games in which, I've talked about that I honestly believe that this game is of the three games being played today. This is probably the most likely to get through 90 minutes even. I get Netherlands has a phenomenal or a very good, I wouldn't call it phenomenal. France has phenomenal and Spain has phenomenal attacking forwards, and they can score goals, but they're also a team that will leak goals defensively. And this Morocco team they're just a well-coached and their setup is a great one. This is a team that unfortunately did not lose a game in the group stages. I'm talking about Morocco, and but finished second to Brazil. And it's like, hey, you're rewarded by having to play the Netherlands in the first round of the knockout stages, which is unfortunate because it's sad that one of these two teams is not going to make it to the round of 16. But this is one where you either take the draw in this game, which is like the draw is like plus 210 in this game. And that in itself should highlight the fact that they expect this game to be a tight one. I do like Morocco. I think Morocco gets the job done. Their first game obviously was against Brazil. That game finished 1-1, but they did everything they needed to do in their other two games. And it's similar to the 2022 World Cup with many of the same faces, and that this team just plays well. One of the best African teams, if not the best African team, and they're plus 120 to advance here. I would probably take Morocco to advance at the plus 120 line as opposed to taking them on the three-way betting line, because as I mentioned, the three-way betting line only covers 90 minutes plus any injury time. So that is one of the I think the things you have to look at in a tight game. If it makes it by the 90 minutes in the injury time, your bets and you take either side to win, your bet's dead. So and there's nothing worse than your team winning in extra time and you're like, my bet's dead, and they still won. It's one of the boxes of betting soccer. But listen, if you educate yourself, and we have downloadable cheat sheets on how to bet these games, as well as the World Cup guide, which is on my page, which I'm going to toot my own horn, 12 for 12 on that World Cup guide for group winners. If you picked it, and there was a lot of winners in that guide, and it's absolutely free, wt.buzz/DL. You can get that guide as well too. But I think a draw here is likely in this game, and then Morocco to win it in extra time.
Well, Carm, awesome that you gave folks the pre-tournament ways to win using that guide, and what you've been doing in the tournament, I mean, speaks for itself. Guys, 5%er that is rocking this Wednesday. Do not walk, run to go and grab that one before the line moves. And Carm, you can obviously buy the one play, sure, but right now, get the rest of the World Cup, $99. I know that sounds like, oh, $99, it's a big price. Carm, you're putting out sometimes 2-3 plays for these match days. I know the group stages is done, but knockout is where the cream really rises to the top, Carm. So tell folks about what they can find over at your page.
Yeah, 2 plays up for today. There's a 4% best bet. It's not on the first game, so but I have a smaller play on that first game. The third game of the night, or the last game, is the one I just talked about. It's not a client play, but it might get added as a client play on the plus 120 to advance on Morocco, and then a 5% play loaded for Wednesday's action as well too. The World Cup package, every single play through the tournament, right through the finals, is we dropped it to like $99. So you can get that over my page, and that's every single play, prop, side, future, and total. And I'm loading some future plays right after this show.
WT.buzz/CB. And Carm, you mentioned that 12-0. Don't forget that you and I put together that parlay of the teams that were the minnows, the ass teams. We had Qatar finish 4th, Haiti finish 4th, Curacao finish 4th, Tunisia and New Zealand. We nailed all 5 of them, Carm. All 5 of them. The you are ass parlay cash. Don't tell Krack about that, though.
You got kudos, because anyone who buys the World Cup package and emails customer service gets an invite code into a private Discord channel where I discuss some of the games and give out some live bets or halftime bets. But someone posted a ticket in there because they followed you on that.
Let's go.
He also added about 4 more games. It looked like a receipt from CVS. I got to tell you, it was like yay long. It's just yay long. But kudos to you, man.
Krack's friend. Well, appreciate you, Carm. Have a good one. Always appreciate it. Grab that 5%er, WT.buzz/CB. The man, he caps soccer in and out. He gets prepared for these World Cups. Over the last 2 World Cups, over 60 units. So love guys like that when they're catching. Because, Andy, I mean, on air, off air, Carm is genuinely one of the best people in the world that we have met, not just like betting wise, like this is just a great dude. So couldn't be happier about that success for him.
Yeah, he's a trip, man. Partying with Carm is quite the experience. So
times up, it's 5 a.m. and you're in a high roller lounge. You're like, how the hell did I get here? Oh, that's right. Carm has me off the Negroni. Yeah, that's exactly how I got here.
We stayed up so late one night. We were going to bed as some other people from WagerTalk were getting into the lobby to start their day. We were stumbling back to the.
It's just him sipping Negroni, saying "Yes, guy, yes, guy." That's his go-to phrase. Yes, guy.
Krack talking about how his buddy lost all of his money before he got to the room. My Irish friends had a bachelor party in Vegas, and I went out there. And yeah, one guy didn't make it up to the room. The first night, he checked in and put his bags off to the side and just walked over to the tables. And later that night, we were like, "Have you gone up to your room?" Nope. Still haven't gone up there. So, yeah. All right. Well, we got the soccer game starting here in 1 minute. So let's cash. We are on both teams to score. So scary. We're going a little bit head to head with Carm, but hopefully we can get a couple early goals and no sweat. So week started off right. Got a tennis winner in, and tomorrow's $5 Tuesday, guys. We will have plays up tonight, and one of them is a tennis play that starts early tomorrow morning. So don't wait for Tuesday to get that play, because it starts early tomorrow morning at Wimbeldon. So can't go undefeated if you don't win the first one, Dan. So we're looking at sweeping Wimbeldon, baby. So
let's go. This is what will turn the tide for us. We're sweeping Wimbledon. Let's ride.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of doubles plays for the first couple rounds. So that starts on Thursday. So buckle up. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Tomorrow is $5 Tuesday and it's Dinger Tuesday. So quickly becoming one of the best shows. You know what? I think something we may start adding here. I mean, it's almost July. We should do one future player prop for NFL each day. Because they got
a day and just
they got a
about
million
it,
of them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
We'll do that. We'll end each show with talking about one player prep.
Here we go.
A season
Comment.
total.
If you made it this long into the video, if you made it this long in the video, comment below and let us know which player do you want us to break down a player prop on. Drop it in the comments now, and we'll start answering them throughout the week. Excellent, Andy. We got some pep in our step.
Yeah, the first one is going to be Matthew Stafford, 30.5 touchdowns. I just, if he plays
you
every
can't get
game,
away from this one.
If he plays every game, he's going to have 40. So
I feel like you're bringing up, you want to talk these player props simply because you're like, I need to talk about this Matt Stafford prop at length. This has been, Andy has been talking to me about this for weeks. So yes, we'll lead with that tomorrow.
Can you blame me?
No.
Can you blame me for liking that one? I mean, they would throw the ball on the 1 yard line last year just to get him to get him there. So yeah. How many do you have last year? Let's see. Yeah, 46. They got him 46 touchdown passes last year. So all right. But I've digressed. Tomorrow's a huge show, guys. So make sure you join us. We got a lot of things to break down, and then we got dingers and $5 Tuesday. So very, very excited about that. Let's root for both teams to score, and then we'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.